Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. The Titans of Old, the giant robot faction, are pure cool. They remind me of Gort, the robot from The Day the Earth Stood Still. When I first got the Prophecy of Kings expansion, these mechanical colossi were the first faction I picked, and what a good choice it was. Titans of Old are a well-rounded top-tier faction. You can't deny that, but if you want to become a humanoid robot master and terminate your opponents, then keep on watching. Let's begin our analysis by scanning their faction abilities. First is Terragenesis. After you explore a planet that does not have a sleeper token, you may place or move one sleeper token onto that planet. Second is Awaken. After you activate a system that contains one or more of your sleeper tokens, you may replace each of those tokens with one PDS from your reinforcements. These first two abilities are tightly connected. Exploration is already beneficial. Many relics have game-changing potential. Ulls start with the Scanlink drone network tag, so they can explore repeatedly while placing down their unique faction PDS units, which are incredibly powerful. I'll elaborate more on this later in the video. These faction abilities are so beautiful, I almost shed a tear just reading them. Lastly, they have Coalescence. If your Flagship or your Awakened faction ability places your units into the same space area or onto the same planet as another player's units, your units must participate in combat during the space combat or ground combat steps. This ability is less important and is simply a clarification as to what happens if you activate a system that contains both your sleeper token and enemy units. Let's take a look at the Titans of Old's leaders. First, their agent, Tellurian, whose ability reads, when a hit is produced against a unit, you may exhaust this card to cancel that hit. Easy, cut and dried application. Can tilt any battle slightly in your favor, and can help you stack those trade goods by selling it off. Consistently useful, as any agent should be. Next is their commander, Tungstantus, unlocked by having 5 structures on the board, which is super easy for Old to pull off, by the way. Their ability is as follows. When one or more of your units use production, you may gain 1 trade good. I've said previously that the greatest factions have abilities that all work together synergistically. This is a prime example of that. Old's unique PDSs have production 1, so you'll find yourself in the routine of reactivating systems, planting PDSs, producing, exploring, and building up trade goods. Ul's turns could not possibly be any more productive. Finally, their hero, Ul, the Progenitor, unlocked by having 3 scored objectives, Geoform, Action, Ready Elysium, and attach this card to it. Its resource and influence values are each increased by 3, and it gains Space Cannon 5 times 3 ability, as if it were a unit. Cannot be overstated how excellent this hero is. First of all, it isn't a one-time use. You can get it early and reap the rewards for the rest of the game. Your home system has a 7/4 planet, the best planet in the game, and the Space Cannon 5 times 3 is just icing on the cake. You literally cannot go wrong with this hero. Get it and use it instantly. Ul's Mech, Hecton Charius, I think I got that right, has the ability that reads, Deploy. When you would place a PDS on a planet, you may place 1 mech and 1 infantry on that planet instead. And of course, sustain damage. So once you place all your PDS units on the board, you can enjoy replacing those sleeper tokens with a mech and an infantry instead, further locking down all your planets. If you want to have some fun, see how fast you can get all your PDSs and all your mechs on the board. It won't take that long, you could take that to the bank. Titans of Ul have 2 faction techs, both of which are outstanding. First, as I alluded to earlier, is their unique PDS, the Hell Titan 1, which has a combat value of 7, planetary shield, space cannon 6, sustained damage, and production 1. This unit is treated as both a structure and a ground force. It cannot be transported. Like the normal PDS, it can be upgraded with a yellow and a red prereq to the Hell Titan 2, which bumps its combat value up to 6, its space cannon to 5, and grants it this ability. You may use this unit's space cannon against ships that are adjacent to this unit's system. This unit is borderline broken. It excels at everything. Defense, offense, production, it can help score VPs because it counts as a structure, and to top it all off, you can basically get it for free with little to no effort. If one OP faction tag wasn't enough, buckle up. We have the Saturn Engine 1, a unique cruiser with a production cost of 2, combat value of 7, movement of 2, and capacity of 1. That 1 capacity makes a big difference. But the real power of this unit lies in its upgrade, for which you need a green, yellow, and red prereq. Its combat value is increased to 6, movement value to 3, and capacity to a whopping 2. But I'm not done yet. It also gets sustained damage like a dreadnought. This unit is cheap, mobile, strong on offense and defense, and its 2 capacity give it a broad scope for taking planets or scoring objectives, being able to reach far across the board. The Titans have an interesting faction promissory note called Terraform. It reads, Action. Attach this card to a non-home planet you control other than Mecatol Rex. Its resource and influence values are each increased by 1, and it is treated as having all 3 planet traits, cultural, hazardous, and industrial. So as you can tell, unlike a lot of faction prom notes, this is a one-time use thing. It's attached to a planet and then it stays there. The 3 planet traits part can be valuable for scoring certain objectives, and who's going to complain about bumping a planet up in resources and influence? Overall, one of the weaker aspects of their kit, but it can still be used to your advantage. It's not inconceivable that the old player can trade it off and then claim the planet it's attached to, or just never trade it off. It's up to you. Moving on to the Ul's flagship, Auranus, I think that's how you say it, which has a production cost of 8, hits on 7 times 2, has a movement value of 1, and a capacity of 3. Its abilities are sustain damage predictably and deploy. After you activate a system that contains one or more of your PDS, you may replace one of those PDS with this unit. This flagship is solid but unremarkable outside of its second ability, which lets you get an 8 value ship for free, which makes it easily worth it since you can just get that PDS back fairly easily, and sometimes you may want to move your PDSs around the board as the game develops anyway. Yes, I realize you don't get it for free, it basically costs 1 command token, but you all know what I mean. We'll start with one 4-1 planet, Elysium, great name, in their home system. Their starting units consist of 1 dreadnought, 2 cruisers, 3 fighters, 3 infantry, and a space dock. With all 3 of those ships having 1 capacity, they can split off in 2 directions. Their cruisers having 2 movement gives them a menu of options on their first turn that many players don't have. Typically, you'll be able to settle nicely into a 2-planet system and a 1-planet system and get those sleeper tokens down. This may be the only faction who can get away with not starting with any carriers. The only real downside to their start is lack of influence. Ul are more of a production-focused faction anyway, but balance is still important. You do need influence for command tokens. The 2 techs they start with are anti-mass deflectors and scanling drone network. A blue and a yellow, what else can a man ask for? Anti-mass gives them further reach and versatility on their first turn, and scanling sets them up to reap the benefits of exploration for the entire game. Perfect starting techs. Onward, let's discuss the Titans of Ul's first round, general strategy and objectives. As I stated previously, Ul have many options for their first turn. If you're able to get Warfare, get Warfare. I know I always say this, but it's a great first strategy card. This way you can place down and awaken your sleeper tokens, getting that precious Hell Titan unit placed on turn 1, and also allowing you to take more planets and put down even more of those glorious pink sleeper tokens, while hopefully picking up some relic fragments along the way. Tech is a reliable choice to help you get those earth-shattering faction techs as soon as possible. The Saturn Engine's movement put Ul in a unique position to be able to take Mecatol Rex early, granted that you had the 6 influence. Quick aside, construction may seem like a card you would just always avoid, but if you use your Mech's ability, you can theoretically get 2 Mechs and 2 infantry just from using construction's primary abilities. Free plastic is free plastic. If your slice has influence-rich planets that you could ready up with Diplomacy's secondary ability, then a turn 1 Mecatol Rex grab may be in the cards for you, whether it's from researching the gravity drive tech or freeing up your cruisers using Warfare. Ul are one of the best Mecatol Rex factions. Firstly, because of their ability to stack mechs and infantry, and secondly, because their hero gives them a much easier time simultaneously defending Mecatol in your home system. Important to note that Mecatol cannot be explored and you cannot put sleeper tokens on the planet, but you can still put your PDSs down the old-fashioned way. Additionally, you can move your Hell Titan PDS units around the board using the Transit Diodes tech, if you choose to research it, since they do count as a ground force. My general advice is to get as many PDSs down as possible. Explore, try to get relics, and take Mecatol. That VP you get from the Custodian token will give you a vigorous forward momentum. The Titans of Ol are well suited for scoring the following objectives: develop weaponry, diversify research, erect a monument, sway the council, build defenses, discover lost outposts, engineer a marvel, improve infrastructure, construct massive cities, protect the border, reclaim ancient monuments, etc. All are objectively good at scoring objectives, so we'd be here all day if I listed them all off. Their only real weakness is their low commodity count, but that is even somewhat balanced out by their commander's ability. Also, never underestimate the power of exploration. Starting off with Scanlink Drone Network and being incentivized by your faction abilities to explore is a huge strength of theirs. Having one or more relics is like having an additional commander or hero. Definitely not something to ignore or overlook. Always take the tech path less traveled. Just kidding. Here is the exact tech path I would follow: Gravity Drive, Plasma Scoring, Hell Titan 2, Neural Motivator, Saturn Engine 2, Gravitron Laser System, and Fleet Logistics. Those are the important techs for Titans of Ol. Where you go from there is up to you. It doesn't really matter all that much in this case. You can research Dreadnought 2 if you like, but they are not as big of a priority due to Ol's Saturn Engine 2 unit. My only other notes is that if you get a green tech skip, Biostims would be a nice pickup instead of Neural Motivator. In conclusion, the Titans of Ol are one of the heavy hitters in the Prophecy of Kings expansion. They do everything you need to do in Twilight Imperium well, while having advantages unique to themselves that push them over the top. They are similar in that regard to the Federation of Sol. So next time you play TI4, pick these Iron Giants, and the rise of the machines may come sooner than you think. Thank you for watching. I genuinely appreciate it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.